When it comes to focusing, I'm someone who needs the sweet, dulcet sounds of silence, but in this overstimulating, distracting world, noise has become harder to avoid than trips to the jar store for Howard Hughes' housekeeper.
Come in with the milk. Come in with the milk.
And it's fair to say that there's no shortage of wireless noise-canceling headphones out there for which you could pay a premium for all the bells and whistles you could ask for, which is ironic because bells and whistles are the exact kinds of things you'd be paying to cancel out. But which ones best fit your home, work, and gaming needs according to you and your budget? Well, today we'll be taking a look at the Anker Soundcore Space Q45s, the JBL Live 660 NCs, and the Sony WH-1000XM5s to determine which wireless headset is the best fit for you and those little flesh snubs dangling off the side of your head. Ears, we're talking about ears. Anyway, I'm Jamie Parslow. These are our choices for best noise-canceling headphones, and this is Budget to Best. Now, there are plenty of sub $100 pairs of noise-canceling headphones, but coming in at $149.99, there are no compromises with our budget pick. The Anker Soundcore Space Q45 noise-canceling wireless headphones. The Q45s are comfortable and lightweight with memory foam cushions for the speakers that fit snug, but not too tight on the ears. I actually found these to be more comfortable than the higher priced headphones we'll be checking out later on. They feel pretty durable too, though I'm not really one to push the limits of these types of things. But how good are the noise canceling and sound quality? The Soundcore app presents 3 modes for the Q45s, which can be toggled through the NC button on the side of the left cup. There's an option for noise cancellation normal mode, which has some sound dampening features, or transparency mode, which amplifies outside sounds when you need to be aware of your surroundings or cashiers telling you how much money you owe them. There's also an adaptive noise canceling function, which adapts the noise cancellation to the sound around you, depending on your environment. In normal mode, you have some fine control over your headphone volume with control over max levels and decibel reading refresh rate. And finally, transparency mode gives you the ability to select the type or level of transparency you prefer. And a talk mode for conversations, just in case you need to hear someone tell you you never listen and need to be more attentive. Aside from those modes, there's a sound effects button, which lets you choose from a number of listening style presets, or you can create your own profile that takes your listening style and adheres it to the headphones for maximum enjoyment. I was wildly impressed with the Q45's functionality and sound quality, as well as the battery life, capable of holding up to 50 hours of playtime with the ability to be paired to 2 different devices simultaneously. The only caveat, and maybe this is because I've been spoiled by our pricier selections, is that the Q45s don't have automatic ear detection to pause what you're listening to when you remove a speaker from an ear. It's mostly a pretty manual device that can be controlled by the selection of 4 buttons on the sides of each speaker. I had a hard time knowing which button was which, causing some accidental pauses and plays early on when evaluating these. But overall, if you're tight on funds and want some really impressive headphones that will feel comfortable, hold lots of charge, and give you some controls over how you choose to listen or not listen, then I can't recommend the Q45s enough. They come in black, white, or in our case blue, and at $149.99, these might just be what you're looking for if you don't want to break the bank with your noise canceling headphones. Up next, we've got our ears on the JBL Live 660 NC headphones. These bad boys are really cool and really live up to that JBL quality we've come to expect from the brand, with memory foam earphone cups and a durable mesh headband that they call, quote, pillow soft padded. We'll get into that later. These things are sleek, they're stylish, and they sound nice to boot. You'll need to download the JBL app to fully utilize the sound canceling capabilities of the 660s, but through it, you'll have 3 modes of sound control: adaptive noise canceling, ambient aware, and talk through. ANC mode may not be 100% soundproof, but it really does help to drown out sudden sounds even with nothing playing at all. And the sound quality of the headphones really help to enhance that noise cancellation when you've got something playing in the background. The ambient aware mode is a bit more open in terms of what kinds of sound the 660s let through their noise cancellation, helping to balance your music with the sounds around you to keep you more safe in busy environments. Talk through is JBL's transparency mode and functions well in work environments if you're frequently expecting people to try to get your attention while your headphones are on, despite headphones on being the universal signal for "I'm busy, go away." All of these modes can also be toggled through the ambient sound control button on the right side can. You've got good control over EQ on the 660s as well, with presets for jazz, vocals, bass, club, whatever that means, and studio, all of which can also be individually adjusted to your heart's content. Or if you don't like what choices the man has given you and want to forge your own sonic path, hit the plus sign and create a preferred listening profile. Other features include integration with both Google Assistant and Alexa, pause play functionality being tied to a simple tap on the left headphone, and my favorite, automatic ear detection. So many ways to pause these things. Not that you'll want to. The battery life on the 660s is great, giving me around 50 hours of maximum play time. The sound quality rules and the Bluetooth range allowed me to walk from roughly 100 or so feet away from my source before they started cutting out, which is pretty cool given that my AirPods barely let me get 50 feet from my phone before they start losing connection. I do have a couple of notes though. The functionality of the noise cancellation and EQ functions are tethered to the phone app, which means your presets don't carry over when you're using the 660s on a device other than your phone. And that goes for the functionality of most of the buttons on the headphones as well. The app overall could use some love as there's not as much fine control over your settings as the other devices on this list. Not a killer, but just not as robust as I had expected from JBL. I'll also note that while the headset itself is lightweight and the leather on the headphones themselves is genuinely pretty comfortable, I noticed that after having these on for long periods of time, they felt kind of tight on my head. The band seems to be the culprit on these, but I assume that unless you've got these on for hours and hours at a time, you likely won't run into these issues the way that I have. And heck, that band probably will lose some elasticity after a while, so maybe you'll wear them in. All that's to say, if you're looking for a set of high quality headphones from a trusted audio brand, then for only about $199.95, the JBL 660s are a safe bet to grab for yourself or as a present for a loved one. And finally, we've reached the top of the mountain, the Shangri-La of symphonic fidelity, the creme de la creme of... Yeah, anyway, you get it. The best on our list. These are the Sony WH-1000XM5s, and when we say they're the best in the business, we absolutely mean it. From the pillow soft cushiony cans that conform to your ears, no literally you can have them analyze the actual shape of your ears for maximum audio quality, to its lightweight, almost feathery design, to the buttons, and even down to the case it comes in. This thing was made for the serious audiophile. Sony's app for the headphones offers much more robust customization than our previous choices. You've got your selection of the kind of noise canceling you may want. You've got adaptive features that conform to your environment. You've got the voice assistant controls, the equalizer options, automatic ear detection, basically everything the other headsets had combined, which could leave you asking, what more could it have? Well, lots. Here's a short list. Adaptive sound control that knows whether you're walking, standing, sitting, or exercising. Sound pressure indicators that monitor just how much noise canceling to apply. An ear shape analyzer. The ability to connect two devices at once. An activity monitor that logs how and when you use the headphones. Listening history logs. A World Health Organization sound allowance monitor that keeps track of how loud you should be listening to your audio. And last but absolutely not least, 3D audio capabilities that allow certain platforms to deliver 3D optimized music, which can simulate the sensation of being in the same room as the instruments themselves. That's just absurd. The app alone is its own triumph, as complicated and daunting as it may seem at first. And believe me, like a lot of Sony software, the menu can be daunting. And yet, we haven't even scratched the surface. One of my favorite functions of these headphones are its touch controls. Much like the JBL 660s, there's a two-touch start and stop function on the headphones. But unlike the other headphones, you can swipe forward on the cans to skip music, fast forward, skip back, rewind, and turn the sound up and down simply by hand movement alone, which to me is both insane and makes all the sense in the world. Like our other choices, the XM5s will monitor your environment, adjusting the noise canceling to your surroundings, but these will also adapt to your voice and pause what you're listening to when you speak. They also have a voice detect function that will allow surrounding voices through while somehow canceling out everything else. How does that work? Probably magic, I don't know. Out of all of the noise canceling headphones I was able to test, these things were the most noise cancel-y-est. There were moments where I couldn't hear the snap of my fingers in front of my face, much less the ambience of a busy workplace or a street. The pressure on my ears felt like nothing at all, and yet there was a marked difference in what I could and couldn't hear. It was honestly a dream. If I had kids, these would either be my greatest joy or an existential nightmare if they started, I don't know, running around with knives or whatever kids do. Finally, the audio quality. Sony really brought it home with the fidelity of the sound on these XM5s. I heard fine details in some of my favorite songs that I've been listening to for decades that I had never heard before. The experience was pleasant, rounded, and it felt like I was listening to my favorite music for the first time. Like I had new ears. Just pure magic. However, the major trade-off compared to the other headphones we looked at is battery life. Compared to the 50-hour life of our last two choices, the XM5s last about 30 hours on a full charge. Still good for a full day of activity, but worth taking into consideration. And the XM5s are so lightweight, they probably won't stand up to any kind of rugged lifestyle. I found that the matte coating on the cans tend to dirty up pretty quickly, especially if you've got oily hands or ears like me. Don't judge me. They can easily get scraped up and dinged if you're not too careful. I wouldn't personally be slugging gear around or working in a construction environment with these if you want to keep them looking nice and pretty. But I assume that because there are fitness functions in the app, it should be good for, say, running or a light workout. If you've got the cash to drop and you absolutely need to bathe those ear holes in a symphonic smorgasbord, you really, truly cannot go wrong with the Sony WH-1000 XM5 headphones. Between their comfortability, their sleek design, the detailed app, the general functionality, and the sound quality overall, it's a no-brainer for those seeking headphones that simply won't disappoint. You can buy them at pretty much any electronics retailer or online in silver, midnight blue, or black colors. They're priced at around $399.99 and they're worth every penny. So, there you have it. We went over the Anker Soundcore Space Q45s at our budget tier, the JBL Live 660NCs at our mid-range tier, and the Sony WH-1000 XM5s at our best tier, giving you all of our favorite options at the price you may be looking for when it comes to noise-canceling wireless headphones. We hope you have enjoyed this episode of Budget to Best. For more on where to find the best tech options for your budget needs, be sure to check out the rest of our Budget to Best episodes. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you like to watch IGN.